quality is amazing. So let me let me leave it at that. Leave it at that.
Okay. With Swisscom, it's so good then.
Yeah, there's I can't say anything more than that. On the trains I have 5G, and it's just phenomenal. It's like better than a fiber optic in at home. So I've never had any issues with the network. But let's keep fingers crossed.
Look, everyone, all of us now, we should all move over to Switzerland as quickly as possible.
Yes, as quickly as possible.
Come on, pack your bags in Mitcham. Come on, get in the car down in Crawley.
I can do with some fresh air. I'm telling you, Prabhu. Away from the city.
And the milk, Prabhu. The milk is just absolutely phenomenal. They have a vending machine where you go, and 24 hours you can go to the farm, and the milk is kept really fresh, and you can see the cows. Just amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh, Switzerland's famous for the cowbell. See the cowbell they use on a drum kit, ding ding ding. You know that cowbell. It's from Switzerland, the original cowbells.
Yeah.
So it is a special country, very very nice little small country. The only thing is, don't ever drive through Switzerland. Whatever you do, don't drive through it, because you have to buy a blinking road tax to drive through the country. I had the shock of my life when I was driving. So I said, okay, you have to pay so many euros now for the road tax. Yeah. For God's sake. Yeah. No wonder they're so rich. They're ripping everyone off.
Well, for everything you do here, you pay tax, even the smaller things. But I tell you, you can go around with a empty bottle of water, and you can have 20 different types of spring water. Just by walking around.
No, it's a superior lifestyle for sure.
Yeah.
And you get lovely milk there, like you say, and wonderful. So let's welcome Jigna and Charnaravinda Prabhu from down in East Sussex. And where's Jigna? Where are you based, Jigna?
In Kingsbury.
Oh, Kingsbury.
Near Harrow.
Oh, the best part of London. Best part of London. My friends, the Joshi Mittaiwalas are there. They'll be my friends for years. That Joshi Mittaiwala and Kingsbury Fruit and Veg used to been shopping there for years. AAA in Queensbury. I know it very well. Very nice. Best shop, the best veg in London. Best veg. Is in Kingsbury Fruit and Veg. Very, very nice. So you're very lucky.
Yeah.
The only problem with Kingsbury, do you know what the problem with Kingsbury is? Do you know what the problem is?
Too many people.
Parking, probably.
Parking.
Yeah.
Thinking traffic wardens, they'll eat you alive.
Yes, lots of parking fines and road fines.
Well, Kingsbury was the first time I ever saw a traffic warden with fangs. He actually smiled and had fangs. He didn't have teeth. And then when he put the sticker on my car, his nice fine, I said, thanks very much. Okay, enough joking and frivolity.
Thanks for the memory.
Let's start the new chapter. I've got chapter 44 here. Hello? We got an echo? No. I've got chapter 44. Is it 45 or 44?
I think 45.
Oh gosh, I've changed book.
Is that Krishna recovers the son of his teacher? Is that the one?
Yeah, I changed book.
Yeah, so 44 in mine too. If it's this one.
I've changed book, look.
Yeah.
Listen, somebody's got a bogus Krishna book here. Hey, wait a minute. Look at the one Archana's got. That cover's nicer than mine. Jai Prakash, let's have a look at your cover. Oh my God. Where'd you get these books from? Smita, let's have a look at your. Oh no, Smita.
I don't have a book, no.
She doesn't
From
have-
BBT.
Ah, she's reading off a computer. Okay. Anyway, let's read chapter 45. Let's start off with Charna Aravinda Prabhu. Chapter 45.
Krishna recovers the son of his teacher.
Yeah.
When Lord Krishna saw Vasudeva and Devaki standing in a reverential attitude, he immediately expanded his influence of Yoga Maya so that they could treat him and Balaram as children. As in the material world, the relationship existing between father and mother and children can be established amongst different living entities by the influence of illusory energy. So, by the influence of Yoga Maya, the devotee can establish a relationship in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a child, or is his child. After creating this situation by his Yoga Maya, Krishna appearing with his elder brother Balarama as the most illustrious son in the dynasty of the Satyavatas, very submissively and respectfully addressed Vasudeva and Devaki. My dear father and mother, although you have always been anxious for the protection of our lives, you could not enjoy the pleasure of having us as your babies, as your growing boys, and as your adolescent youths. Krishna indirectly praised the father of Nanda Maharaj and mother Yashoda, motherhood of Yashoda, as most glorious, because although he and Balaram were not their born sons, Nanda and Yashoda actually enjoyed the childhood pastimes. By nature's own arrangement, the children of the embodied living being is enjoyed by his parents. Even in the animal kingdom, parents are found to be affectionate to their cubs, being captivated by the activities of their offspring. They take much care for their well-being. As for Vasudeva and Devaki, they were always anxious for the protection of their sons, Krishna and Balaram. That is why Krishna, after his appearance, was immediately transferred to another's house. Balarama was also transferred from Devaki's womb to Rohini's womb. I'm going to coffin fit coming, Prabhu.
Okay, carry on. Come on, Shamaran, you can continue.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Vasudev and Devaki were full of anxieties for Krishna and Balram's protection and could not enjoy their childhood pastimes. Krishna said, unfortunately, being ordered by our fate, we could not be raised by our own parents to enjoy childhood pleasure at home. My dear father and mother, a man cannot repay his debt to his parents, from whom he gets his body, which can bestow upon him all the benefits of material existence. According to the Vedic injunctions, this human form of life enables one to perform all kinds of religious activities, fulfill all kinds of desires, and acquire all kinds of wealth. And only in this human form is there every possibility that one can get liberation from material existence. This body is produced by the combined efforts of the father and mother. Every human being should be obliged to his parents and understand that he cannot repay his debt to them. If after growing up, a son does not try to satisfy his parents by his actions or by an endowment of riches, he is surely punished after death by the superintendent of death and made to eat his own flesh. If a person is able to care for or give protection to all parents, a a chaste wife, children, the spiritual master, brahmanas, and other dependent, but does not to do so, is considered already dead, although he is supposedly breathing. My dear father and mother, you have always been anxious for our protection, but unfortunately, we could not render any service to you. Until now, we have simply wasted our time. We could not serve you for reasons beyond our control. Mother and father, please excuse us for our sinfulness.
Very nice. So there's 2 paragraphs there introducing us to this next section. And of course, there's a hint here towards the very powerful laws of karma. And as Lord Rama says in the Ramayana also, a famous statement, he says the most sinful action in this world, the greatest sin in this world, is to be ungrateful. So one who is an ingrate or ungrateful is considered extremely sinful. And to be ungrateful for anything really, but to disrespect one's parents, even if the parents are out of order, which they often are, me being one of them, the parents should never be chastised or abused or disrespected. And that is mentioned by also Krishna. Arjuna tells Krishna this in the Bhagavad Gita. What does Krishna tell Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 and early part of chapter 2 regarding this point? He's referring particularly to Bhishma Dev. Nobody knows? No?
I could be wrong, Prabhu, but I'm just going to have a go. Is that when or he probably not, because...
Have a go.
Okay, so I think when he was saying he didn't want to fight against his family, and especially Bhishma Dev, is that when Krishna was trying to tell him that something like that? Is that what it is?
Come on. This is not rocket science. Come on, Smita, for God's sake.
To fulfill your duty.
Yeah, in this instance, Arjuna didn't want to fight. We all know this. Bhishma was his father, actually. He wasn't his grandfather. In terms of actual relationship, Bhishma was Arjuna's father because his father had died at a very early age. Pandu had passed away when he was just a little small boy. So who took over the fathership? It was Bhishma.
Yeah.
He was actually the father. He wasn't biologically, you could say. Well, even biologically, Arjuna's father's Indradev. So the actual fathership was handed to Bhishma Dev. So Bhishma, now Krishna is telling Arjuna, you have to kill your father. A tough job. You know, even if you hate your dad. I mean, look at Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad. I mean, if Prahlad had every reason to hate Hiranyakashipu so much, but even he didn't hate him. He prayed for him. He asked for his that he would be given protection and given the benefit of spiritual protection to his father. This is a son. So Arjuna, speaking to Krishna, says, Krishna, how can I fight Bhishma, Drona, who are worthy of my respect? They shouldn't even be given a verbal fight. I shouldn't even give a verbal fight to them, in terms of just talking badly or disrespectfully. What to speak of killing them? Does anyone remember this point in the first chapter of the Gita? No? Am I making it up myself? Am I making it up?
No,
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 Prabhu.
we don't remember. That's all.
Okay, it's just not common then. It's not common. But this is there in Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna is making this very strong point. And to disrespect the parents, that's why, it's a very tricky, very, very tricky. But Krishna also mentions, Narada explains later in the Bhagavatam, very famous shloka, Devarshi Sutapta Pitrim Nirinam. It's a very, very famous shloka, Devarshi. Where's that shloka in my brain? It seems to have gone. That all obligations to the devas, to the rishis, to the earth, to the forefathers, Pitrinam, to the parents, to nature, to everyone, all the obligation, we're obliged in so many ways. We're using the air. There's an air tax, but we're not paying it. There's a water tax. Well, we pay water bills. Once I remember when I first was paying for the house, I moved out of the temple and we were paying for rent and all this. And, and I remember the water bill came from the water board. And I said, what's this? Water? I got to pay for water? I couldn't understand that I have to pay for the water. I thought that came with the house. It took me a while to realize that you have to pay the water bill because, we're using the waters. It's for the sewage, all the stuff, that's coming out of the house, all the water coming in. It has to be paid for. So everything got to be paid for. So Arjuna is saying here in this Bhagavad Gita. I'm just looking quickly to find this verse. He's talking about destroying the family tradition, and if we destroy a family tradition, which is also called parampara in Hindi tradition, then we will also be subject to sinful reactions, and then bad children will come because the women won't be protected nicely, and then unscrupulous men. Sorry, I'm just trying to find where Arjuna is making this point. He made some really good arguments, actually. Yeah, I'm terribly sorry. I can't quite find it. I don't want to go on and on, but we should be very respectful to our senior Vaishnavas. When I joined the temple, if someone had joined the temple 2 weeks before me, 2 weeks, he was a senior Vaishnava, just by 2 weeks older. I would consider him senior. What to speak of 2 years? If someone had been in the temple for 2 years, he was very senior. If he'd been in the temple for 10 years. And now, if we have, in those days, etiquette was very, very strong in the temple. We will constantly, Smita will remember, coming to Bhaktivedanta Mana, our Charnavinda was actually there in Berry Place. And you would constantly see devotees on their knees. It would be very rare to see a devotee even standing up. They were always bowing down to each other. Isn't that right, Charnavinda Prabhu?
Yes, very much offering each other one's respects.
Yes, if the greeting was, it wasn't Haribo. It was, please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu. Always. And you were always seeing devotees bowing down. That's why when I first visited, I was looking around. I said, oh, devotees, they're always bowing down to each other. I said, good God, they bow down a lot around here. Yeah, I was quite taken. And then suddenly started bowing down to a plant. I thought, oh my God, this is going too far. This is going too far. They're bowing down to a plant. What? I was, because I didn't know anything. I just knew the books were interesting, but well, when they bowed down, started bowing down to a plant, I thought, well, this has just gone beyond now, a joke. But then I found out this plant is Tulsi, and she's a great goddess. She's the Bhakti Devi. She's the goddess of our Bhakti. She can give us Bhakti. Bhakti Pradi Devi, Prada means to give. Bhakti Prada. She's giving Bhakti profusely to us. So bowing down to Tulsi. So not disrespecting one's seniors and parents is very important. We must try, even if parents are can be somewhat awkward. Does anyone have any awkward parents? Any difficult parents?
Mine have gone to heaven.
Oh, yours have gone. Jai Prakash? Oh, awkward, domineering mother?
Loving mothers.
Oh, loving mothers. Okay. Shamarani?
Same, Prabhu. Mother and mother. They're both loving, very loving.
Oh, my mother had very hard life with her parents. Very, very tough. So it carries on. So I got a few hits around the years. I can tell you when I was a few belts came out for me.
Yeah, I got hit against the wall a few times.
Yeah. They used to call it the strap. It was the belt. You get it. Oh, very heavy, very heavy. So you're very lucky, Shamarani and Jai Prakash, to experience loving parents.
My dad had to just look at me or any of us, and you knew that you were out of order.
Oh, okay. Well, that's power. That's the power. Yeah. Well, anyway, offering respect. If we don't offer respects, if we are disrespectful, if we're ungrateful, the punishment is very severe. And what was the punishment mentioned in that paragraph there? Can anyone remember?
You would have to eat your own flesh or something when you die.
Yes, you're gonna have to eat yourself for dinner.
Oh wow.
Strong.
What's on the menu today? You are. Start eating now. Pardon? Yes, your arm first. Eating your own flesh. There are hells, there are naraks, there are many naraks, and there are places we should bear in mind, bear a thought for those suffering souls who right now, as we speak, in our own homes, with gay abandon, we're speaking, they're suffering now, eating their own flesh. So we should bear a thought for those who are suffering there. So sometimes Krishna may send a devotee into these terrible situations to relieve people from their suffering as well. So therefore it says in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Shiva says to Parvati, a famous shloka, Narayana parasarve nakutaschana bhivyati swag apavarg narakesh vapi tulyata darshinaha. Vaishnavas are so great that even if they go, whether they go to swag or they go in apavarg is they get mukti in Vaikuntha, or they go to narak, they still act in the same way. They will still always be preaching and helping others in Krishna consciousness and serving others. Okay, so there we are. That's the And Krishna also is setting a great example here. That Krishna himself is praying and begging to Vasudeva and Devaki, who suffered tremendously. They've gone to all the trouble of bringing Krishna and Balaram here as parents, but they never enjoyed their parenthood. They never enjoyed it. They suffered. Nanda and Yashoda were the recipients of Krishna and Balaram's childhood pastimes. So they're begging them to please forgive us for our sinful actions. So here's God himself saying, please forgive me, I'm sinful. So if God can say that, then surely we can all pray, please forgive me, I'm very for my sins and my offenses. So we can all pray like this. Let's start with Chanaravinda. You can start the prayer. Please forgive me for my sins and offenses.
Please forgive me for my sins
And offenses.
and offenses.
Yeah, not to me, but I'm just saying, let's just go to Smita. Go on, Smita. Give us a good one.
Yes, please forgive me for my sins and offenses to everyone. All the whole committee here.
The whole committee's in front of us here. Vasavala Barada has arrived as well. Vasavalabi, Haribo.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Go on, Smita.
Hare Krishna, please forgive me for all my sins and offenses. Please forgive me time and time again. Hare Krishna.
Maaf karjo keve. Tamne. Papa, I can't remember the Gujarati. I'm trying to remember now. Go on, Shamarani. Give us a blast of that one.
Hare Krishna, everyone, and please forgive me for my all offenses and my mistakes. I'm making over and over again. Yes, please forgive me.
Your sins.
And my sins, sorry. Forgive me for forgive all my
If we
sins.
if we don't say it, it means we don't make the sin. If you're sinless, what the hell are you doing in this world? We're all sinful here. Alex, go on, Alex. Give us a blast.
Yeah, so please forgive me for all my sins and offenses to everybody, especially my dad, who took a lot of battering from my sharp tongue.
Oh, I thought it was going to say you took a battering from your mum. Okay, Jai Prakash, go ahead.
Please forgive me for my offenses and sins. Maaf kari dejo.
Maaf kare dejo. Ramesh bhai, bolo che, Gujarati ma che. He's doing Monavrat. Archana, go ahead. Bolo.
Hare Krishna, please forgive me for my sins and offenses, everyone. Hare Krishna.
And especially for not giving me more bakris. Okay, Jigna.
Please forgive me for my sins and offences.
Thank you, Vasavalabi.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please forgive me for all my sins and offenses to everyone. Thank you.
Yes, to all living beings. We're sinful in this world. We are envious. We are offensive. We are violent. Sometimes we hurt other living entities, intentionally or unintentionally. But basically, we're walking. We are walking mistakes. We're constantly making some blunder. We make some offense. And I remember once I made a big offense to a sannyasi guru, very big offense, because the sannyasi guru was speaking on the Janmashtami years and years ago, over 30 years ago. And I was in charge of the stage, you see. And the lecture was going on, but he had a 20-minute slot. And it already at 40 minutes had passed, and the children were ready for the play, which was Krishna Janma. Krishna's. So I was trying to get the sannyasi's attention. Please stop now, Maharaj. The children are falling asleep. the children are falling asleep, you know, it's late. So the children are like crying and it's miserable, and he wouldn't stop. So I was trying everything possible, going to his and you know, what he wanted me to do was write it down. I didn't have a pen, but he wanted me to write it down and give him a note to see that he should stop. But I already said, Maharaj, it's 20 minutes only. Anyway, he went on and on and on. And in the end, what I had to do was, there was a very big screen in this big tent that we were using to show the Krishna temples around the world, and the screen was pulled up by pulleys and rope. So what I had to do was, because we didn't have curtains in the tent, I had to get them to lower the screen in front of the Maharaj as he was speaking to the for hundreds and 2,000 people. I don't know how many people were there. But then I thought, right, I know what'll happen, because everyone's screaming at me, you see. Sakya, you know, you're in charge here. You know, look at my kids, you know, we're going home. I was like, everyone's dressed up for the play. I said, it's okay. Maharaj, what'll happen when the screen comes down, he'll realize, okay, I will stop now. So they lowered the screen, and so that it was just in front of him, and he kept talking. So in the end, he had to just lower the screen down until he was fully covered, and he was still talking. I thought, blinking heck, you know, what a wally. Oh, I made an offense. So next day I had to make a very big apology, and please forgive me for Sadhu Ninda and this. But, you know, it happens, you know, in life that we make offense, even if sometimes it's not entirely our fault. I'm just giving you a graphic example there.
What happened to the presentation afterwards?
It evaporated into thin air.
No. All the kids and that, did they perform nicely?
Oh, yeah, everyone was laughing. Oh, they loved it at the back. I was their hero. The next day, I was the villain. But that particular, was you there, Smita, for that one?
No, I can't remember.
Well, if that was ever videoed, it would be shown now on YouTube. It would be having over 10 million hits, that one.
It go viral.
It would go viral because it was absolutely hilarious, but I had to take the brunt. I had to take the reaction for it. But the family and the kids, they were so happy that I actually stuck my neck out for them. There we are. So let's start with Smita now. Smita, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
When the Supreme Personality of Godhead was speaking as an innocent boy in very sweet words, Vasudeva and Devaki became captivated by parental affection and embraced him with great pleasure. They were amazed and could not speak or answer the words of Krishna, but simply embraced him and Balaram in great affection and remained silent, shedding incessant tears.
Alex.
Thus, having consoled his father and mother, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing as the beloved son of Devaki, approached his grandfather Ugrasena and announced that Ugrasena would now be the king of the Yadu kingdom. Kamsa had been forcibly ruling the kingdom of Yadu in spite of the presence of his father, whom he had arrested. But after the death of Kamsa, his father was released and announced to be the monarch of the Yadu kingdom. It appears that in those days, in the western part of India, there were many small kingdoms ruled by the Yadu dynasty. Andaka dynasty, Rishni dynasty, and Bhoja dynasty. Maharaja Ugrasena belonged to the Bhoja dynasty. Therefore, Krishna indirectly declared that the king of the Bhoja dynasty would be the emperor of the other smaller kingdoms. Krishna willingly asked Maharaja Ugrasena to rule over himself and Balarama because they were his subjects. The word praja is used both for progeny and for citizens. So Krishna belonged to the praja, both as a grandson of the Maharaja Ugrasena and as a member of the Yadu dynasty. Thus, he voluntarily accepted the rule of Maharaja Ugrasena. He informed Ugrasena, being cursed by the Yayati, the kings of the Yadu dynasty, may not occupy his throne. It will be our pleasure to act as your servants. My full cooperation with you will make your position more exalted and secure, so that the kings of the other dynasties will not hesitate to pay their respective revenues. Protected by me, you will be honored even by the demigods from the heavenly planets. My dear grandfather, out of fear of my late uncle Kamsa, all the kings belonged to the Yadu, Rishni, Andraka, and Harka, Madhu, Dasara, and Kakura dynasties were very anxious and disturbed. Now you can pacify them all and give them assurance of security. The whole kingdom will be peaceful.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So Krishna is really blessing now the Ugrasena, who is the father of Kamsa. And as Kamsa had imprisoned his own father, then hundreds of years later, Aurangzeb would also imprison his father, Sahajan. So what kind of a person, what kind of a son imprisons his father? So the ultimate, it's because of the father you get the body, the mother especially, Janani. The Janani, the mother, goes to the father. It provides the beej, but the mother creates the body from her own body, undergoing back pain, stomach upsets, headaches, all the pains of childbirth and bearing children. Tremendous discomfort, isn't that right? Who's the mums here? Archana? Archana?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Childbirth?
Yes.
Very painful, no?
Mm-hmm.
Very tough. Shamarani. Oh, she's frozen. She's gone to Iceland. Oh, no, she's here. Shamarani. Yes. Childbirth is very tough, no? Carrying a child. I can't imagine, the imbalance of the body, the weight, the back pain. It should be, it's got to, you got to appreciate that, and this is in our scriptures. It's in here in the Shastra to keep bear in mind, how many points the parents have. Points are there. Sometimes they may use up some of their points, because they may not behave right, but still they have so many excess points above ours that the point being that a point is like a credit. The credits are there to the parents, so they should always be supported and helped in spite of whatever. Of course, sometimes the parent will kill the child in the womb, and therefore there's no credit there, and the parent will suffer in this case. That's an opposite situation there. Okay, let's have a look at the chat. Apologies, I won't be able to read tonight. Rasavalabi. No problem, Rasavalabi. That's okay. Let's ask Jigna now to carry on. All the kings.
All the kings in the neighboring area had left their homes in fear of Kamsa and were living in distant parts of the country. Now, after the death of Kamsa and the reinstallment of Ugrasena as king, the neighboring kings were given all kinds of presentations and comforts. Then they returned to their respective homes. After this nice political arrangement, the citizens of Mathura were pleased to live in Mathura, being protected by the strong arms of Krishna and Balaram. On account of good government in the presence of Krishna and Balaram, the inhabitants of Mathura felt complete satisfaction in the fulfillment of all their material desires and necessities, and because they saw Krishna and Balaram daily, face to face, they soon forgot all material miseries completely. As soon as they saw Krishna and Balaram coming out on the street, very nicely dressed and smiling and looking at the citizens with grace, the citizens were immediately filled with loving ecstasies simply by seeing the personal presence of Mukunda. The name Mukunda refers to one who can award liberation and transcendental bliss. Krishna's presence acted as such a vitalizing tonic that not only the younger generation, but even the old men of Mathura became fully invigorated with youthful energy and strength by regularly seeing him.
Okay, very nice. Oh, look, let's welcome Ram Prasad from Scotland.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And he's the does a lot of cooking and seva, and but he gets all the food donated up in for Karuna Bhavan. Has anyone visited Karuna Bhavan in Scotland here? Anybody visited? Has anybody ventured north of the border? Yes, Chana Ravinda, you've been to Karuna Bhavan as well, then.
Where?
All right, he hasn't been there. You haven't been to the temple. Karuna Bhavan.
I've been to Edinburgh and all the surrounding areas, you know.
Yeah.
I painted the temple and decorated it. And yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's nice. That's very nice. Okay, so yes, everyone in Mathura was seeing Krishna face to face, Balaram, because the Lord, when he descends into this world, he will appear in a form that is suitable for this planet. This is the greatness of Krishna. Krishna can go to any planet he likes. He can go to the sun planet and speak to Vivaswan. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavam aham avyayam Vivasvan manave praha manu ikshvakave bravit. History of Bhagavad Gita, 120 million years ago, in the age of the Vaivasvata Manu, Krishna spoke this knowledge. Evam parampara praptam, etc. So this is the history. Krishna can enter the sun planet, he can enter the earth planet, he can go to the moon planet, he can go to Brahmalok, he can go to he can go into the Naralok if he wants to. Krishna can go anywhere. And he can accept a suitable body. This is Bhagawan. This is the difference, that he will go into any planet in his original form. Whilst if we go to another planet, we have to take on a particular body suitable for the planet. So we are forced to take on the body for that planet. But Krishna, he can enter the planet in his own original form, and under the power of his Atma Maya, he can produce, or he can adjust his body so that he's visible, he's there to interact with people and bewilder everyone. As Kunti Devi says in her prayers. Does anyone know the prayers of Kunti Devi? In the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 8 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Who's got the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam? Nobody has the first canto? No? Okay.
I have in the shelf there somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Who's got the Krishna Teachings of Queen Kunti? Who's got the book called Teachings of Queen Kunti?
I'll get.
yeah, I've got that one.
All right, Shamarani's getting the book. Okay, so she's got that book, and these prayers are in the 8th chapter of the first canto. And Kunti Devi says, she says, Krishna, your Leela, your activities are bewildering. They're bewildering. In fact, there's a chapter in that book called Bewildering Pastimes. Am I correct?
Yes, it is, Prabhu.
Which chapter is
12th
that?
chapter. 12.
Go to chapter 12.
Chapter 12.
Here we go. Chapter 12, everyone.
Chapter 12 of
Yes.
Teachers
first
of Queen
canto.
Kunti.
Yep.
Teachers of Queen Kunti. Yes. Bewildering Pastimes. Go on. Give us a blast.
So shall I just read the verse? Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah,
Prabhu?
just go for the verse. It's okay.
Naveda kaschin bhagwanam chikirsitam tava hamsanasya naravnam vidambanam nayasya kaschit daito sti karhichit vesyas cha yasmin vishama matir narmam. The Lord's mercy upon the fallen soul is equally distributed. He has no one as the specific object to hostility. Oh, sorry, do you want me to translation? Oh Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine you are partial. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8 and 20.
Yes. This
Shall I
is
carry on?
Krishna. No more now.
It's a
That's
long
good.
paragraph.
That's good. Yeah. So
Shall I
this,
read?
this Krishna's Kunti's is saying that you appear amongst us in a suitable body. See, the Lord is Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam. He is complete and perfect. Because he's completely perfect, he can expand his form just according to our vision and our understanding. But we will never understand him thoroughly because his form is bewildering. In fact, Krishna's form is so bewildering that even Madan, Cupid, the Madan or the Kamadev, who bewilders the world with a thing called love, Johnny Cash, a little thing called love. Well, it's not love, it's lust. And by this bewildering potency of calm, the whole world is bewildered by this potency of Madan. And Krishna is Madan Mohan. He bewilders the most bewildering person. So this is Krishna. So he bewilders everyone when he comes here. And he can appear just like a human being and act. And even Krishna, to compensate for the atheists, to satisfy the demons. This is what a gentleman. What a gentleman is Bhagawan. Just to pacify and to compensate the demons who don't believe that in Krishna or that he's God, he leaves a body behind in Dwarka. He actually left a form behind so that the atheistic class will say, yes, just see, he's an ordinary man. And you see this written many places online. In India, there's a lot, the Arya Samajis, there are many groups there. Oh, look, Krishna, he's just an ordinary man. He's not Bhagawan. He's just a fortunate person. Saying Bhagavan means I told you about this before. Fortunate. And I've explained, no, it's Bhagyavan is fortunate. Bhagavan means possessor of all the opulences. So this is the point here. So we're building up to this story gradually. And what was the last line there? Mukunda. Yeah, because Mukunda, you see, is a great name for God. So like the Muktipadas, the Muktivadas, and the Muktipadas, they're very interested in Mukti. They'll talk about Mukti, but when they say Mukti, they're thinking of Sayujya. Who can tell me what Sayujya is? We've talked about it about 10 times over the last few weeks. Sayuja.
Attaining the same form as Krishna, as Vishnu.
That's Sarupya.
Uh,
Sayuja Ram Prasad.
Sorry?
Sayuja.
I haven't a clue, I'm afraid.
Jai Prakash, Prabhu. Sayuja. Sayuja, Samipya, Shashti, Sarupya, Salokya. Panch Vida Mukti. Panch Vida Mukti. 5 types of mukti. The lowest form is merging into Brahman. Sayuja means to merge. And of course, the merging of the Atma into the Brahman is exactly like the green parrot merging into a green tree. Okay, so when we see the green parrots, I was in Gujarat, my wife, myself, we were visiting there 2010 in Vidyanagar. Has anybody visited Vidyanagar, the mandir there?
No.
This is near Karamsad in the Satavishkan, Chargam, Chegam. So I was there in Vidyanagar, looking out across the trees from our room in the mandir, and we saw the green parrots, little parrots, not big ones. They were like small green parrots there, birds flying, and you'd see them in the sky, and then they'd all enter the tree and they'd all disappear. as if by
Parakeets.
magic.
Parakeets.
Parakeet.
Parakeets, yes, parakeets, little ones, and they were hundreds and hundreds in the sky, and then suddenly they'd all go into the tree and they just disappear, as if merged into Brahman. You see, so when the Atma merges into Brahman, it remains individual, but it imagines, because there's no roop, there's no form in the Brahma Jyoti, it imagines that now I've become Bhagwan. Now I'm one with everything. So that is Sayujya. Can we write it down? Sayujya. Because we're forgetting it. Sayujya. Very important. When we talk to people, they say, oh, I'm getting mukti. And, oh, you mean Sayujya mukti? Yes, that's one of the muktis. What do you mean one of the muktis? What do you mean? That is the only mukti. Sorry. Wrong. Wrong. Okay? People don't know Panchvida Mukti. And beyond Mukti, what's beyond Mukti? Smita, what's beyond Mukti?
Bhakti.
Bhakti. Haribo. Gaura Premanande. Beyond Mukti is Bhakti. It is said that Mukti Devi, she is bowing down to Bhakti. She is simply a servant of Bhakti. Okay, so Sayujya. S-A-Y-U-J-Y-A. Oh, no, not Y. Sayujya. Excuse me, it's not Sayujya, Sayujya Mukti. Okay, this is merging into the Brahma Jyoti, which the Vedantists, the Mayavadi, the Brahmavadis, they're very, many Hindus are worshipping in this mode, that I will worship such and such a god, Durga, Surya, Ganesh, Vishnu, Shiva. I'll worship my Ishtadev, and this is called Panchupashana. Panch Upashana. I'm worshipping, and it ultimately, after I've worshipped and become purified of my sins, I can get mukti. They say I'll get mukti. When they say get mukti, they mean sayujya. Okay? With sayujya, there's no chance of bhakti. So it's said that sayujya mukti is the greatest form of cheating oneself. If Jai Prakash, Prabhu, in business, you must meet a lot of cheaters. in business. Very crafty men. Actually,
Nobody wants to pay tax.
well, there's no greater cheater than a good accountant. They say a chartered accountant is called a cheater accountant. Because the accountant is expert in saving the businesses their money. You see, and
Only what's legally possible.
oh no, we're not talking about outside the law, but within the law. You know, even the politicians are expert in this field. Politicians are very crafty to save their money. So the point is that this Sayujya is the highest pinnacle of cheating, where we cheat ourselves any chance of bhakti, developing love for God. You see? So
I think I think the highest form of that is politicians, not accountants.
oh no, the accountants, the politicians need. Listen, the accountants are. When it comes to life, the accountants are at the top of the pile. Everyone needs the accountant to be legal and to run their business and to fulfill their affairs. If you don't have a good accountant, then for sure you won't pass go. You won't collect £200. You'll go directly to jail. So
I take it, Alex, you're an accountant?
Sorry?
Looks like Alex is an accountant as well.
Alex?
No, I have lots of respect for lots of different people, especially accountants and politicians, in terms of they're able to spend other people's money quite freely in some ways, you know.
Oh yeah, no, politicians, they need it. Everyone needs, you know, legally you have to have an accountant, or you have to be very good at accounting. I mean, even Yamaraj needs an accountant, for God's sake. Even Yamaraj needs Chitragupta. If you saw Chitragupta's files, you'd faint. I mean, we're looking now, Jai Prakash's files are there. Chitragupta, it's thousands and millions. It's just like files on everyone. So many. Akashic, it's called the Akashic record. So everything is there. It's all played back. The whole life is played back, you see. The fun starts with Chitragupta. It's like, you know, you say, okay, well, when you were 20 something, you did this. Oh, I don't remember doing that. Oh, just a moment. Let me rewind it here. Oh, there you are. There you are. And that's what you did there. Oh no. Oh. It's there. Everything's there. Akashic record. So I'm not looking forward to this show, actually, personally. I'm dreading it. But good news is that Krishna can save us. He can help us if we are surrendered to him, you see. And this is the verse that Charnaravinda Prabhu's been learning for the last 6 months. Sarva Dharmam Parityajam. Go ahead, Charnaravinda Prabhu. Tell him that verse. He's been day and night working on it. Oh no, you can't read it.
I don't even know which verse you're on about.
It's okay, Prabhu. It's all right. Who knows this wonderful verse from the Gita, the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, the most quoted verse in Prabhupada's books, lectures, recordings, conversations, letters, everything. What's the most quoted verse in Prabhupada's books? 1866.
Samakamani Agni Sada.
No, it's not that one. Who knows the verse?
Mamekam Sharanam Bhajai.
Yes, go on.
That's all I know, Prabhu.
Oh, go on, Smita. Sarvadharmam.
No, Prabhu, I don't know, I'm afraid.
Go on, Mampa. Give him a blast of Sarvadharmam Parityaja.
That's it. Savadhamma Paritjaya. That's it. That's all I know.
Oh, okay. Go on then, Prabhu. Sarvadharmam Parityaja. Mamekam Sharanam Vaja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha. Krishna says moksha here. Moksha ishyami masucha. Moksha in this, it means liberation from the reactions to sinful works. So we all make the sins in different ways. Lies, there's different big ones, small ones, medium-sized sins. We are by nature, we're sinful. The greatest sin, who knows what the greatest sin is? The greatest sin. Come on, what's the greatest? What is the Mahapap?
Offense to a devotee.
Jigna, what was that?
Offense to a devotee.
Yes, you're close, very close. What is the greatest sin? According to the Manu Samhita,
Blaspheme the devotees?
is to kill cows.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
If you kill cow in the Manu Samhita, it says that you have to take the birth for as many hairs as a cow and be killed the same way for as many single hairs on the body of the cow. Has anybody ever tried to count some cow hairs? Next time you see a cow, just find a little patch and start counting. Then multiply it by so many. Okay, so we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands. So
Billions.
the Mahapap is to kill a cow.
Billions.
Mahapap is killing cows. And they're devotees of Krishna, Jigna. So you are right. The cow is beloved of Krishna. In fact, Krishna loves the cows so much, he names his planet after the cows. I mean, imagine you naming the whole planet after the cow. How great is the cow? All the 33 crore devtas are there in the form of the cow, in that form. They're such an auspicious form, animal. Before taking birth as a human being, in the dharmic mode, in sattva gun, one may take the birth, the body of a cow in the animal species if we're rising through the evolution of karmic evolution, not the evolution of ignorance. Darwinism is the evolution of ignorance, the karmic evolution process. So, okay, so we've gone over tonight. We've discussed a few extra things. So we'll start next week and we'll be talking about how Krishna and Balaram recover the sons of the teacher from the Yamaloka. There they are. Krishna can enter into Yamaloka in his form. He can adjust. He can adjust his form, his constitution, to enter into Antariksha, outer space, and he can also enter into any planet. And, this is Bhagawan. We can't do this.
And he doesn't need a spacesuit either.
No. He doesn't need an artificial body. He is Akayam. Can we say Akayam?
Akayam.
Who knows what
Akayam.
Akayam means? Akayam. What does Kayam mean?
Kaya means body, isn't it?
Body,
Yes.
isn't it?
Akayam. Akayam means?
Or body means.
It means that he doesn't have a body. God doesn't have a body. Yeah.
Not of flesh and blood.
He doesn't have a body. No, he doesn't. He is his body. We have one. This body is like now temporarily it's my property, but it's not me. But Krishna, he is his body, and therefore he's called Akayam. Because he doesn't have one. He is one. He is his form. When we see Krishna, we're looking at, this is God. When we look at now Smita here and Ram Prasad, this isn't Smita. This isn't the soul. This isn't the Atma Swarup. This isn't who she really is. Or who Ram Prasad, this is not who he is. It's nothing to do with him. Ram Prasad is a little green goblin in the spiritual world. See, though we have a different Atma Swarup, completely different. So we've taken on these forms, so we don't really see each other as we are. However, when we see Bhagwan, this is him. He never changes. And he explains this in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text number 6. So when you get a chance, everyone, have a look at Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text number 6.
Sure.
6.
Text number
Sure.
6.
Chapter
Awesome.
4.
When, not now, in your own time.
Yeah, but chapter 4, did you say, Prabhu?
Yeah, chapter 4, 4, 6.
Okay.
Because I teach all the shlokas. So
Yeah.
they used to call me Shloka Steve. Hey, here he comes, Shloka Steve. He's always come up with shlokas. Because I was very, when I first joined, you see, the point is, when I joined the temple, everyone was learning shlokas. It was like each day you learn a new shloka. Otherwise, what are you going to do with your mind all day? What are you going to do with your mind? Mind will go for the sense. Mind will think of negative things. The mind is a rascal. Mind is sinful. Dushtamani, dushtamana. Bhakti Siddhanta said we have to beat our mind 100 times with the shoes. And at night we have to beat it with a broomstick. Mind is a rascal. It'll always degrade us. So Bandhu Atmanas Tasya Jenaivatmatmana Jitaha Anatmanas to Shatrudve Vartit Maivatma Shatruvat. Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter. Mind is always the enemy. But the way to make mind a friend is one shloka every day we learn from Bhagavad Gita or one of the scriptures. One a day. So we had a slogan. A shloka a day keeps Maya away. What do you think, Smita?
Yes,
A
Prabhu, yes.
shloka a day keeps Maya
Away.
away. So that's why we do the shloka program. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
So
Hare
Krishna.
we'll start off next
everyone.
week. We'll start off Jai Prakash Prabhu. If you remember now,
Yeah.
that
Okay.
last part there is Mukunda. We talked about Mukunda there.
Yeah, we'll start. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda were also living in Mathura.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Okay. So
Yeah.
we'll start off next week. Thank you for joining, Ram Prasad Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hope you enjoyed the Krishna book reading.
Haribo.
Okay. Thank you, Archana.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Oh, the calendar arrived. She sent it. Mina sent him the calendar.
He
from
did. He
Manchester.
did. Bless her.
Very nice.
Yes.
Anyway,
So,
we'll be back in London on the 19th of February. And when we come down, we'll try to get down with your Archana's tin. We got your tins and everything. We were trying to do it last time. We'll bring your tins back, with all the batteries, and we're filling it full of gold. Gold. Because this is what Krishna did with the person who was selling fruits. And when they gave the fruits to Krishna, they looked in their basket. It was full of all precious stones, gold, all the fancy stuff that the ladies like, especially the glittery, sparkly things. Woo, look at that one. Oh, that's a nice one there. So, and of course, the ultimate story of misfortune, that's great fortune. Misfortune is when the man is selling his fruits, and Lord Shiva was, no, he wasn't selling, but he was in difficulty. So Lord Shiva arranged for him to have some big fruit. I think it was a melon, and he put all the jewels and all things inside for the man to have to help him So when he opened the melon, all the jewels will fall out and he become very rich. But he was so unfortunate. It's to show karma, that if your karma is that you're abhaga, unfortunate in this world, even if you're given the greatest fortune, what did he do? Does anybody know what he did with that melon? He ate it. No, he didn't eat it. He ate all the jewels. He sold it. He sold it to somebody for a few rupees. And inside was millions, 10 million pounds worth of jewels, and he sold it for a few rupees. Such is the misfortune of someone. It's an old story that is from Puranas. Okay, Hare Krishna. Take care,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Namo Namaha. Namo
All
Namaha.
glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. Jai
All glories
Prabhupada.
to Bakri Devi. Haribol.
Haribol.